Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the first Nick Saltafamaggio Coaches Show, produced by Franklinton High School TV, brought to you from Sugar Shack in downtown Franklinton. Coach Salt, we're going to spend some time on Thursday nights here at Sugar Shack discussing last week's game and opponent and this week's game and opponent, and we encourage Demon fans throughout the Franklinton area to come in, show your love and support for our team and our coach, and join us at the Coaches Show. Coach Salt, it's year 2 of the Salt era at Franklinton High School. The Demons are coming in off of a 3-7 campaign in 2023. And even though we were 3-7, we were probably 7 to 10 points away from competing for a district championship and making a playoff appearance. But Coach, you've brought 2 different programs to the state championship level. And I want you to talk a little bit about what things you think are important for championship programs and maybe some things that this team resembles in terms of championship caliber, being a championship caliber football team.
Well, you're right, Coach Shane. 6 of those 7 losses were by 13 total points. So we could have easily had flipped that record. But the thing I like about this team, and the reason I think we can be a championship quality team in year 2 is we've had great commitment in the weight room. Especially up front on our offensive line, we got a lot of kids with high GPAs. So if you're willing to work in the classroom like that, you're going to be willing to work on the field. There's no obstacle that's going to be too big for you. And so I think our kids understand what it takes to be champions off the field. Now we got to teach them how to be champions on the field. And I felt our summer was really good. It's been comparable to teams that I've coached before that have had success. And the next thing is we're good at the places you need to be good. Our offensive line is really good. We have an excellent quarterback. I would say, I would look at Jacob and I'd put him in the top 8 to 10 quarterbacks in our classification in this state. We have both inside and outside speed in our backfield. We have length at receiver. And then when you flip it around defensively, I really like the way we're playing at our second level right now.
All right, welcome back to segment 2 of the Coach Saltafamaggio Coaches Show. We're joined now by Wyatt Seal of the Demon offensive line and DJ Anders, linebacker, both returning starters from last year's team. Coach, last week the Demons went to Mandeville and participated in a jamboree there. And from what I understand, the score wasn't indicative of how we actually played. Can you allude to exactly how that jamboree played out for the Demons?
Well, Coach, I thought we really played well. At halftime, we were playing a 5A semifinalist toe-to-toe. Special teams is a work in progress. We got a really good 9th grade kicker who's a 9th grader right now, but he's going to be a special player for us as his career continues. So we missed the extra point. But I told our kids at halftime they were going to get 1 series in the second half. You always worry about injury. We had a big scare earlier in the year in our scrimmage with losing David Moore. So I was going to be really careful. And then when we started rotating guys, the score got out of hand. We're playing our 2s and 3s. And, Coach Jones kept his 1s in there for a couple of series. I guess he was feeling pretty happy. But I told our guys at halftime, Coach, I'm like, this is the best football team that I've coached since 2019 when we were at Hornbill. And that was a semifinal team. So I'm expecting us to really play well the rest of this year, and good Lord blesses us and keeps us injury free. We can be playing at Thanksgiving. I believe that in my heart, and I think our kids believe it.
I know, speaking for these 2 young men, you can see the weight and the bulk that they put on in the off season. And I'll tell you this, from a physical standpoint, both know from looking from them,
right,
physically they're ready to go. They've got to develop that mindset that, hey, we're here to play football. We're Franklinton Demons. And we've got a history and a tradition like no other, and we're going to bring it on Friday night.
Coach, it's the most important part of what I try to tell them. I got it. Look, you're being humble, but I got it from you. I remember when I was at East Jefferson and we played you guys. That not only did you guys were really good and beat us, but the way you carried yourselves, the way your team represented the city and the school. And I remember telling those EJ kids, that's the role model. And so that's what we're trying to get to again.
Well, who could ever forget the year y'all beat Carr, I think 2014. In my opinion, probably the best coaching job I've seen as a high school coach. When East Jefferson, a school who hadn't had any program probably in 30, 40 years, and you bring them to a state championship and beat one of the best teams possibly ever assembled in Louisiana. Speedy Noel, and you could go on with the 9, 10 Power 5 players they had. So we're excited to have you, and we're excited to see what these two young men do this year and watching the growth that they've had and taking on Amite this Friday as our first opponent. And I'm really excited about these fried pickles that Big John and the staff here at Sugar Shack brought over. So we're going to move on. We're going to have a few pickles, guys. And when we come back, we're going to talk more about Amite, who will take on Friday night.
Hey Coach, it seems we have more big explosive play capability this season. Can you share a few of some offensive plays?
Yeah, well, those explosive plays come from the weight room, but what we have is the ability to make people miss. I wouldn't say we have great top end speed. Like when we run outside zone, especially when Cy runs it, Cy has really good. He has good lateral movement, but he has great balance. So his runs usually come after contact. Connor's a special guy. You know, Connor McGee can just get up and go, and he can run and outrun most people that we play against. But our big plays are inside, outside zone, but also the RPOs off of it. Jacob does a really, really good job reading it. I kind of kid him sometimes. I tell him, you just take the R out of RPO. It's a PO for him. It's a pass option. But he does a really, really good job of finding guys. And when we suck those linebackers in with our run game and hit those guys at the second level, we get some big plays out of it.
Thank you, Coach. Wyatt, as a team, you say average 240 plus yards a game last year. To me, it seems we are more solid up front than last. What do you expect from those guys?
Man, I mean, we've worked real hard this year, and I mean, we've worked with the same exact guys, returning 4 guys from last year, not even including David, which he will be back soon.
Yeah.
I mean, we had such great chemistry and worked so well together, and especially with the work on top of that in the weight room, I mean, I feel like it's going to be hard for any defensive line to be able to stop us, plus the secondary.
So, Coach, how do you feel this football season is going to go with your new players?
They're going to go as far as they want to go. I mean, honestly, I know it's kind of a cliche, but our talent is good enough to get us to December. It truly is. But it's like Coach Shane and I were talking about in the previous section. How much talent do we have from the neck up? You know, you got to believe you're going to be a champion. Champions are made from the neck up. You know, our physical look, when we get off the bus, we're going to be the best looking team physically in the stadium. And that included last week against Mandeville, and it's going to include next week against Covington, 2 5A schools. But what is our mindset? Can we think and act like a champion all the time? And if we do, we're going to play a long time this year.
Thank you, Coach. It was nice talking to you.
Same here.
Coach, that's a pretty good connection right there.
Yes, it
Let
is.
me see that. Coach, that's a winning connection right there. From all of us at Walt Massey Chevrolet in Franklinton, go Demons.
Thank you, Kanasia, for those great questions that were sent in from audience and Demon fans. That's a segment we'll have every week on the Coach Salt Show. And she's a student with the Franklinton High School TV staff and Coach Nate, and we really appreciate her. And so now we'll move on to talking Amite Warriors, Coach.
Yes, sir.
What are 3 keys do you think for the Demons having success in the game against Amite?
Well, I think because of what's going on today, you know, we got to handle the weather. The team that handles the weather, you know the field's going to get sloppy. It's in great shape, Demon Stadium. The field, it looks better than it has in a long time, but you know it's going to get sloppy, so you got to handle the field condition. And then as a result of that, you can't turn the ball over. And then the guy that doesn't give up the big play. because it's going to be hard to drive the ball on that field. So if you make them drive the ball and you don't give up the big play, that's the team, in my opinion, is going to win the game, which will be the Franklinton Demons.
Right. And so, ironically enough, Coach, Damon Smith, who's obviously got his book out on the history of Franklinton Demon football, he told me years ago that Franklinton and Amite have actually played one another more than any of Franklinton's other opponents.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, we played each other every year except World War II. There were a couple years. And then when the series ended, I think Coach Burris's maybe second year they stopped playing. And some of that, obviously, we moved up to 4A and they were 3A. But anyway, it's nice to see you guys schedule an opponent that we have history with.
Yes.
And I know our Demon fans who have been, graduated, alumni and whatnot, they're familiar with what Amite brings and the success and the tradition that they have. So they'll be excited to see them back in Demon Stadium. So now I turn to you, Wyatt. What's one of the things you look most forward to this year, your senior year as a Franklinton Demon?
Well, Coach, I'll tell you, I look forward to the energy that we're bringing all as seniors. All of us with this senior year, we all want it. It's our last ride. So, this is the last effort that we can produce to actually get to the Dome in December. So, that's all I have to say.
Awesome. And DJ, what do you most look forward to this season, man?
I'm looking forward to winning district and making it to the Dome, which I know we can, with all the work we put in the summer. And that's about it.
I got you. Good. So those are some keys to having success during the season, having that vision and dreaming about getting to that Superdome, and also energy that the team plays with. Like Coach Salt said, we were blessed for a long time, as y'all know, coaching his dad. The energy that we brought, and I see Coach Salt bring it to you guys every day, and it makes me realize that championship coaches like Coach Salt and players and programs, they have a different level of energy. And I'm glad to hear you guys mention that and having that vision of playing for championships. So folks, don't forget, join us 7 p.m. tonight in Demon Stadium as we take on the Amite Warriors. We look forward to a great season. Join us here at Sugar Shack every Thursday night for the Coach Salt Show. And I want to thank everyone here at Sugar Shack, the staff. How about the fried pickles? Along with everything else that they have on the menu. Thank Franklinton High School TV students, Coach Nate, and all of the students for supporting us tonight. And folks, don't forget, like and subscribe to Franklinton High School TV. You can follow all of the Franklinton athletic events there, along with a number of other events that we'll be broadcasting throughout the year. Thank you and good night, and go Demons.